Hello everyone and welcome back to TowerGate. It is TowerGate Day number 1269, 1269, October the 24th, 2020, Saturday. Thank you so much for tuning in. Or maybe it's the 25th. I don't know. I know it's Saturday. Saturday morning. Okay, so of course there's no Spygate news happening or anything like that. So let's go ahead and I want to talk about, offer some analysis on the debate. There's been quite a bit of analysis out there since the debate. It's been about 24 hours. And I watched some of the analysis on the left and some from the right, and I think the overwhelming majority of people analyzing this debate are totally missing the point. I think they're really missing the point. If you look at the left wing, the MSNBC, the ABC, CBS, NBC crowd, they're out there saying, well, we think it was a draw. We think it was about even. No, I don't think they really believe that. There's no way this debate was anywhere close to even. Trump won the debate. That's just automatic. Right off the top, Trump won the debate. How big did he win is up to you or anyone else that wants to, opine on that. But the left wing saying it was a tie wasn't a tie. Wasn't even close. Now, on the right, they're talking about, yeah, okay, Trump won the debate because he was more calmer, he didn't butt in as much, he let Biden speak, and this sort of thing. Now, yeah, I mean, that's true. That's true. That was different. It was probably helped Trump. But I think people are missing the big picture about why I think Trump won the debate so big. The reason that he won this debate so overwhelmingly is because he achieved his objective, which has been his objective since Biden became the nominee. And that is to force Biden to take hard positions, because out in the campaign trail, when he's out there, when he does say anything, it's flip-flopping back and forth because he's in a tough position. He knows that he has to motivate the far left wing of his base, the Bernie AOC crowd, to get the types of turnout that he's going to need to win. But if he does that, then he loses those moderate Democrats and business Democrats and union Democrats and people work in the gas and oil industry. So, and those are states that he really needs to win. So Trump's objective has been, and when we saw him do it in the first debate, he tried, but it was the first debate just got so screwed up because of Chris Wallace that nobody really was able to do anything. It was just a mess. Of course, in the town hall it wasn't very productive for either candidate. This debate, I think, was fairly productive. And Trump really got a chance to do what he's been trying to do, is to get Biden one-on-one and force him into taking a hard position. Because Trump understands exactly what certain people seem to understand about this election. Me, I get it. Many of you get it. Trump gets it. This is not like a lot of other elections where typically you have 30% Republican, 30% Democrat. They go to the primary, they play to their base, and once they get the nomination, then they move to the center to try to capture as many of those independents or whatever that you have in the middle. But I really don't believe that that's what this election is, and to a large extent, I don't think it was that way in 2016 either. But I think to a larger extent in this election. Because I think Trump's been president for 4 years. So people know what you got with Trump. You know exactly what you got. And, of course, Biden's been around forever. He was the VP. You got a pretty good idea of what you got. The problem is he hasn't been in a executive position to be the final decision maker. So you really don't know 100% because he's not real clear on his policies, whereas Trump is 100% clear. I'm going to do this, 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 and this. He doesn't waffle. Whereas Biden, again, he's in that tough position. He's got to be careful. He needs that left wing of the party, the AOC Bernie crowd, to come out if he's going to win in large numbers. But if he plays too hard to them, then he loses the center. And he loses the Midwest. He loses energy-producing states, people, common sense people who live on border states that want to control illegal immigration. There's certain issues that he's really has a very difficult time. He has to walk the tightrope. So what Trump's objective has been since day one, and what his objective was going into that debate, was to force Biden into taking a hard position of what he's going to do. in regards to environmental policy, immigration policy, tax policy, and all these other things. And Trump was extremely successful last night, or I should say Thursday night in the debate. He was extremely successful because he was able to pigeonhole Biden into having to take some positions. And we saw that when he pressed Biden, Biden was forced to, because he knows that this election is going to be decided in some battleground states in the Midwest, so where energy production is a huge factor. And so Trump was very successful at getting Biden to move hard to the center. He got Biden to move off of the Green Deal. He got Biden to move to say that he's not going to ban fracking. He got Biden to move in the center on quite a few different issues. And every time he does, and every time he did, he lost more and more and more of the enthusiastic AOC Bernie voters. And that's exactly the plan. Trump's base is going to come out. He knows it's a base election. 90% of the people out there know what they're going to do. If they're going to vote, they know who they're going to vote for. There aren't a lot of undecideds out there. Maybe 10%. The majority of people know. They've seen Trump for 4 years. They got a pretty good idea what Biden's all about. They think they do. That's why they were watching the debate to see where Biden is. Is he going to go for the far left-wing agenda on environmental policy, on immigration policy, on tax policy, and on these other things? So Trump was very successful at forcing Biden to the center. And when it came right down to it, and he had to make a move, had to make a position, you saw he ran away from fracking. And to the AOC Bernie Sanders crowd, this, their two big issues obviously are environmentalism and all this sort of what they call environmental justice. That's how ridiculous it is. But environmentalism is like the religion of the left, and it's hugely important, and it impacts so many different issues, and that's why Trump pressed him on it. And this issue is tied to so many other issues for the left. They can bring almost every issue you talk about back to environmentalism. It is their religion. It is what they live for. Many people on the left, this is what drives them. They are absolutely convinced that the planet is going to be, disappear in 10 years if we don't stop using fossil fuels. So then that ties into energy policy, environmental policy, energy policy. And when you get into energy policy, now you're talking about lots and lots of jobs, particularly in states where Democrats need to win. So if Biden is forced to take the hard line and take the position of the environmentalists, the far left, the Bernie AOC crowd on environmentalism, the New Green Deal people, he loses any hope in those Midwestern battleground states, and he needs to win, where energy production is a major deal. And a lot of those people that work in that energy industry are Democrats. So Trump was very, very successful last night, or Thursday night, because he was able to force Biden into saying, no, I would not ban fracking. Now, he got him to say that several times about midway and a little over halfway through the debate. And I can assure you that the Bernie crowd and the AOC crowd were absolutely freaking out. I can guarantee you, if they were watching the debate, they were mad as hell, throwing stuff at the TV. They hate Joe Biden because this is their number one issue, environmentalism, and they want to end fossil fuels, and they hate fracking. And there was Biden having to say, because Trump forced him, having to say he would not ban fracking. Biden lost a tremendous amount of enthusiasm and energy from the left on that one point right there. It's going to matter. We're talking about lots and lots of votes from the very people that they're counting on. These people who are hard left environmentalists. There's no reason now for them to support Biden. They would just as soon lose and go support the Green Party candidate, or stay home and try to build a third party, or try to build the Green Party stronger. Biden lost a lot of Bernie, AOC, environmental type folks in that debate on Thursday night. Lost their enthusiasm and lost their votes. Lots and lots of them, which was what Trump's primary objective was. Then, the next big issue that you have is Medicare for all. That's the second issue that the far left, but environmentalism and the healthcare issue, particularly socialized medicine, what do you want to call it, Medicare for all. Trump went after that, and he forced Biden once again, forced Biden to, he had to try to come down and say, well, we'd have a public option and the government plan, and we'd have this, private health insurance and this, government plan that you could have, like, expanding Obamacare or whatever. And it just doesn't work. And this is not what the left wanted to hear. It's not what they wanted to hear. They wanted to hear Medicare for all. That's Bernie. I mean, that's Bernie's base. Bernie's base is 75% Medicare for all people. There are people who want Medicare for all. That their single issue. Medicare for all and some environmentalism. That's where they are. You talk to a Bernie supporter, that's the two things that they'll talk about endlessly. I know. I have 2 or 3 Bernie supporter friends. And whenever I talk to them, it's the only 2 issues that they engage in with me. They want, government-run healthcare for all, Medicare for all, and they want environmentalism. That is the 2 issues that drive them. Trump was able to get Biden to move to the center, force him to the center, and to deny that he would implement the new Green Deal, deny that he would ban fracking, and then he was also able to get Biden to waffle his ass off on, Medicare for all. He wouldn't use the phrase, he wouldn't use the term. I wish Trump would have used it on him, but he didn't. But that's what he was talking about. And Biden had to back away because he knows that when you talk about taking away 180 million people's private health care insurance, they're going to go, apeshit. And we know that Obamacare was not popular, and a lot of people did lose their health insurance and their doctors and their plans, and the rates did go way up. And we know that's a fact. Biden lied. Everyone knows that. Biden knows that. The moderator knew it. Trump knew it. Everyone in the room knew it. There's no question about that. And how do we know? Well, we know because after the Democrats rammed Obamacare down our throat in Obama's first midterm, the Democrats got wiped out. It's punishment. Punishment. So on those 2 issues, Trump was able to move Biden to go to the center, and I guarantee you that and there were lots and lots, I'm sure, of far left-wingers, Bernie fans, AOC fans, the far left wing, the very people that Democrats are counting on to, bring in those millions of votes. They're going to push Biden over the top. They lost a healthy percentage of those people on those 2 issues because Trump forced Biden into those positions. In order to energize that, and these are not people who are, going to take the waffling. I mean, I know these people. They're hardcore. They're not interested in the, wishy-washy type positions on these issues. They want to hear Biden say, yes, we're going to do Medicare for all. Bernie would stand up loud and proud, look in your face, into the camera, step up to the microphone and say, Medicare for all. That's what we're going to do. That's what they wanted to hear from Biden, and they didn't get it. They wanted to hear Green New Deal. That's what they wanted to hear. The way AOC would do it. That's not what they got. And so those 2 issues right there, and Trump knew exactly where to drill down, and he got Biden to back way off. And so he lost a lot of his support for, Biden lost a lot of his support from the far left on those 2 issues. Remember, we're talking about elections in a lot of these tight races where it can be decided by a few hundred or a few thousand votes. And that's why this is so important. If only 10% of the far leftists got turned off because Biden wouldn't come out and go full-throated, all in for Medicare for all and the new Green Deal or something like it, That alone probably, I know he lost at least 10%, probably more like 20, 30, 40, maybe 50% of far left wingers probably are either going to sit this one out, vote Green Party, do something else. They're not going to come out and vote for Biden. What's going to get these young people motivated to go out and get out on a November day, early November day, and go vote for Joe Biden? Because they're going to wake up in the morning and go, why am I doing this? He doesn't support the new Green Deal. He doesn't support Medicare for all. You know, I would rather see him lose so we can punish the Democratic Party for not giving us a nominee who would do that. They should have given us Bernie or whatever and punish the Democratic Party. And that's exactly the position that a lot of these far leftists are going to take. They're going to say, do I want to go give Biden my vote? That's a win for the party. What if we win? Then my party, the Democratic Party, will see that they can lie to us, waffle us on these issues that we care a lot about, environmentalism and Medicare for all. They can lie to us, not deliver, and they can win elections. They get to stay in power. We get nothing. If you're a far leftist right now, you gain more by allowing the Democrats to lose. I mean, is Biden such a great candidate that these leftists are wanting him so badly that they don't want to see him win? No, they don't care. They know Biden sucks. He's just better than Trump in their mind. So, but that's not going to be a big enough motivating factor. If he's not going to deliver on Medicare for all, and he's not going to deliver on anything on their new Green Deal or something similar to it, what's the point? Now, some of the pundits in the left wing will say, well, the plan is to get Biden in there, and once they get him in there, then the far leftists like AOC and all these people, they can move Biden where they want him. Well, there's no evidence that that's true. No evidence at all. I mean, the far left has been pushing and pushing and pushing inside the Democratic Party, but and the Democratic leadership, Pelosi and Schumer and these people, will go out and do the lip work, do the rhetoric, but when it comes down to votes and actually passing any of that far left-wing agenda, they don't do it. They don't do it. Nancy Pelosi isn't going to go for Medicare for all. Schumer isn't going to vote for Medicare for all. They're not going to try to do the new Green Deal because they would get so much pushback even from business Democrats that they would have to pull back. They understand it. They pay lip service to energize the base, but when it comes down to actually having to vote, the Democratic leadership is not going to vote for that crap because they know it doesn't work. And they know it's unpopular. They know that even their base, their business base, the normal Democrats would not go for that. They would be decimated. So the leftists are not quite that stupid. The people on the far left, the Bernie and AOC crowd, they're a little bit more strategic than that. And they're not fooled by the Democratic establishment as much as the Democrat establishment thinks they are. The lip service only goes so far. But when your candidate stands up there in the last debate a week before the vote and says, nah, we're not talking about Medicare for all. That's why I won the nomination, because I fought against all those people wanting Medicare for all. Socialized medicine, which is exactly what Biden said in the debate. And Trump pushed him on it and forced Biden to say, no, I was the guy that was against Medicare for all. Everyone else is for it. So don't accuse me of being a socialist and socialized medicine. Well, look, to the far left, socialism is their dream. Joe Biden is making it sound in the debate like it's a dirty word, which it is. So Biden did not generate any enthusiasm whatsoever for the far left to come out and vote for him. In fact, he turned off a lot of far leftists, which is exactly what Trump's objective has been since day one when he started, when Biden became the nominee. Trump's always understood you got to separate Biden from the far left or force him to run to the far left, at which point he separates himself from the average worker, the average middle class person who would suffer the punishment and the high taxes and all the other things, job losses, drop in the stock market, which hurts their 401k, all these things would affect these people negatively if Biden were to come out and endorse these far left-wing programs. So Trump knew exactly what he needed to do, and he succeeded big time. He forced Biden to move hard to the center and disavow Medicare for all, to disavow the full New Green Deal. And the only two solutions when Biden said, well, we need to, we need to do this, and we need to do windmills, and we need to do solar. And everyone, any reasonable person in this country knows, that windmills and solar power are simply, they can generate maybe 5% of the energy that we need. And no one believes that they can power the country or the world. And at the same time, Japan and Russia and Europe and China, all over the place, all over the world, they're building coal plants and things like that all over the world. And if someone doesn't supply that energy, if we don't, someone else will. This is common sense. Most people know it. And it's an economic question. Nearly every question becomes an economic question, especially if you're Trump, because Trump makes every question an economic question. And this is how he was able to force Biden into taking these more moderate positions. And that's what he had to do for most of the debate. And I thought that he was so effective at it. Trump was so effective at moving Biden that he actually got Biden, when they were talking about health care, to actually criticize pretty harshly Obamacare. In fact, Biden said, well, I wasn't in charge. I wasn't in charge. I mean, I don't know how Obama felt watching that debate, but Biden actually sort of dissed or threw a lot of shade on Obama several times. And in the part where they were talking about 2 times I can remember specifically in healthcare, Biden says, well, Obamacare, we didn't quite get there, but we're going to have Biden care. Biden care. Like anybody wants Biden care. Biden needs Biden care. I don't know, he needs some kind of care, something, but the rest of the country doesn't want Biden care. And he didn't really lay out what Biden care is. So when you're talking about, I want Biden care, you're talking about changing the entire healthcare system. We had Obamacare, no one liked that. You're talking about Biden care. What the hell is Biden care? He couldn't even define it. I mean, that was a huge mistake. And I have to assume he pissed off Obama right there. And several times during the debate, also when Trump was hitting him on kids in cages and immigration policy, and Biden also had to throw a lot of shade on Obama. And I wasn't really in charge. It's like when he wants to take credit for what he thinks is good about the 8 years with Obama, that it was me and Obama, me and Obama did this, me and Obama did that. But as soon as he gets hit on something that's really bad, he distances himself from Obama. It's like, I was just the vice president, I wasn't the guy in charge. So he really threw Obama under the bus in that part of the debate where Trump was, hitting him on the kids in cages. Come on, Joe, who built the cages? Who built the cages, Joe? And you can see Biden just looked down. He had no response. I mean, that was a epic takedown, that particular point. So the fact that Trump was able to get Biden to move away from the radical positions on the 2 most important issues to the far left, which is the part of the base they have to energize to get the votes out to win in what's going to be a base election. Trump was successful and Biden failed. He did not give the base, his far left-wing base, what they wanted. Medicare for all and the New Green Deal. That's why they were watching. That's why they're tuning into the debate. That's all these people care about. They want to hear Biden say, I'm going to give you Medicare for all, I'm going to give you the New Green Deal, and he went the other way. Huge win for Trump. And also, he was able to hit Biden so hard that Biden had to actually distance himself from his own former boss, his own administration, when he was the VP. He had to distance himself from his own previous 8 years. He had to distance himself from his record over the many years on things like the crime bill and everything else. It's another area of the debate where Trump just tore Biden up. I think Trump won every single issue. Every issue, Trump won. But I think the most extraordinary thing, and the thing that will probably be the most talked about, and the thing that will resonate the most, is that toward the end of the debate, for some reason, I'm not really sure what happened, what was going through Biden's mind, but for some reason, toward the very end of the debate, he spouts off that, yes, we're going to end oil. We're going to get rid of oil. And that is like, whew, you're talking about, now you're not just talking about jobs in, Pennsylvania, Ohio, places like that. You're talking about jobs in Texas, Oklahoma. There's energy jobs everywhere in the country. Everywhere in the country. If you're anyone and remember, you have the energy industry, but you have many, many, many other industries that benefit from the energy industry. I'm talking about oil and natural gas. And here's Biden wanting to basically saying, yeah, we're going to get rid of oil. I mean, it's like, that was insanity. I don't know what happened to him at the very end of the debate. I mean, it was already bad enough. Now, maybe somewhere in his mind, he realized at that point, toward the end of the debate, that he had lost, that Trump had succeeded in forcing him into the center, and that he had lost a hell of a lot of his far left-wing base, his AOC and Bernie crowd, which he desperately needs. And maybe he was trying to throw them a bone at the end of the debate by saying, yeah, well, we'll get rid of fossil fuels. We'll get rid of the oil. But it's just the way that he did it. It was such a general way of expressing that it sounded crazy. And it is crazy. No one actually believes that, no sane person believes you can just get rid of the oil. And it's like 20 years from now. You got to be insane. And all the industries tied to it. I mean, even the Wall Street people had to, had to sit back on that one. So I'm not sure what happened, but that is going to hurt him very, very badly. And we know that this fracking issue it's just the word fracking. It just drives liberals up the tree. They hear the word fracking and they just go spastic. And it's a triggering word to a liberal. And of course, we know Kamala Harris straight up has said, no, we will end fracking. We will end fracking. So yesterday, the day after the debate, she's getting off a plane, and a reporter asked her about those two comments Biden made about oil and fracking, and she said, quote, Joe Biden will not ban fracking. He will not ban fracking. So here it is. It is so bad. They got hurt so bad on that issue that that Kamala Harris had to come out and really plainly state, we will not ban fracking. That tells you that they've seen the polls. They know how badly that hurt them in Pennsylvania and Ohio. Two states they really have to focus on. And they got hurt bad. So bad that Kamala Harris had to come out and make a really firm statement. We will not ban fracking. Even though she and he both have said it multiple times. So the fact that they have to throw the left under the bus, I don't know where they think, I don't know. They must have some internal polling showing them something. But maybe they don't have the support of the far left they thought, and that they need to try to run back to the center. But it's too late. It's too late. It's a week before the vote. And, you can't flip and then flop back that quickly. Especially when you've waffled on it so badly, and especially when you've both, Biden and Legs in the Air Harris, have both come out so strongly and are on video saying it. So, obviously it hurt him bad, and you could see the next day the way Kamala Harris was pushed on those two questions about ending oil, petroleum. Petroleum is in every product that every day, every product that we practically touch has got some petroleum base in it, or it's brought to market by something that runs on petroleum. It's an insane suggestion. No serious person would make that suggestion, and that's what they understand, and they're really being called out on it. We know it hurt them badly, which is exactly what Trump's objective was. So to say that Trump just won the debate because he was calmer, he was more professional, more presidential, didn't butt in. This is all just nonsense. Trump won the debate big. He won big because he forced Biden into moving far center, away from the left on the two most important issues to the left, which is where they're hoping that they're counting on their votes coming from if they want to win. And Biden just absolutely got destroyed because people in Pennsylvania and Ohio don't believe Biden. He would have been better off to take the hard left. At least he would have motivated his far left of his base. Nobody in Ohio or Pennsylvania believes that Biden and Harris are not going to try to, regulate the hell out of or get rid of fracking or oil production or anything like that. No one believes that. And if it's your job is on the line, your 401k is on the line, you're paying very close attention to those issues. Those are not issues you're gonna be able to waffle on and fool people on. You're not gonna fool people in Ohio and Pennsylvania. These are not idiots. These are smart, hardworking, middle class, a lot of times blue collar people, even some white collar people in these industries. You're not gonna fool them on these issues. These issues are key to their survival. It's not like they don't know, but they're uninformed. They're very well informed on these issues, and it was so bad for Biden that he was literally forced to throw Obama under the bus to try to distance himself from his own previous 8 years as VP with Obama. And I'm sure Obama was pissed. Biden care? What the hell are you talking about? Those weren't, yeah, we had kids in cages, but those were Obama's cages. They weren't my cages. Had I been president and not Obama, I wouldn't have had cages. That's what he was saying. And that is not going to, that's not going to work. So, yeah, that's why Trump won so big, is because he accomplished his objective. He forced Biden to distance himself from the two most important issues to the very group of people that they're counting on the most to come out and carry the day for Biden, which they're now not going to do. Biden lost millions of votes over Medicare for All and the New Green Deal in that debate, thanks to Trump pushing him. Now, in the last couple minutes, I just want to give you some context here as to something else that was going on in my mind watching debates. Now, I had a real busy day at work, had a lot going on. I didn't get home till about, I didn't sit down at my computer and actually look at anything on my computer till around 7 o'clock, somewhere between 7:30, somewhere in there. And that was the first time that I saw this 8-minute press conference from this guy, Tony Bobulinski. Tony Bobulinski, who basically is coming out saying, yes, he's going to turn over his phones and documents and give testimony to the Senate committee, Ron Johnson's committee, as well as give this information to the FBI, proving that Hunter Biden and Joe Biden are lying, that Joe Biden knew about everything that was going on. And this, you've seen the press conference, you know who I'm talking about, this guy, Tony Bobulinski. Now, as I'm watching the debate, remember, I see this at around 7:30, and the debate comes on an hour and a half later, so this is very fresh in my mind, and I'm waiting to see how Biden's going to respond to this. It never really came up. This guy's name never really came up, and this specific thing never really came up. As I'm watching the debate, and Biden saying, well, I never took any money from any foreign government or something. Hunter never took a penny from China and blah. I'm like, are you kidding me? How can he? I mean, we just had this guy give a press conference. I mean, we've got confirmation that on everything we've been hearing. I mean, and it was stunning for me to sit there and watch that. It's like, how can he sit there and lie after millions of people probably just watched this guy give this press conference? He's turning this stuff over to the FBI. He's going to talk to Johnson's committee, the whole 9 yards. And I'm watching it, and I thought, you know what? The way that Biden is acting, it's very likely that he doesn't even know that this guy, Tony Bobulinski, made that statement. Biden his handlers may be keeping him so insulated that they didn't let him see it because they didn't want him rattled before the debate. He went into through that debate, acting as if he'd never seen or knew about this statement that was made a couple hours earlier in the day by Tony Bobulinski. And I'm wondering if that's the case, if Biden did not know, if his handlers kept that information away from him. I don't know. I'm just speculating on that, but I was very sad to hear that Mr. Bobulinski was supposed to interview or give information to Johnson's committee, but then he decided that the FBI, I think, decided, no, why don't you come talk to us first and give us the stuff first, and then you can talk to Johnson. That's a huge mistake. That is a very, very, very big mistake. Once the FBI gets a hold of this guy's documents, gets a hold of this guy's phones, you can forget about it. It's going into the memory hole. You'll never hear a word about it. Johnson, that was a very stupid move, Ron Johnson. You should have got his phones. You should have had your staff committee copy the information on those phones before they were given to the FBI. You should have gotten all those documents in his testimony before he got to the FBI. Because now it's in the hands of the FBI. It's in the memory hole. Forget about it. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back next time there's news. See you. Bye.